Hey, it's a girl, your favorite paralegal, aka Cassandra Lynn, and welcome to Legal Doc Talk 24/7. Hey, y'all. Hey, y'all. I promise you, between getting work done and Buzbee and jayz and all them, a girl is tired. This is all. This is a war at this point. So I've been busy working and I've been busy trying to keep up with what's going on in Busby and Jay-Z's situation. And I noticed that as soon as Busby said he was filing a lawsuit, baby, I'll be gosh diggity dogs if Jay-Z said he's always, I don't know, it's like he always has a response for whatever it is that Busby is going doing. So if y'all driving home from work or you relaxing, just sit back, y'all. This is a bumpy ride. This is a bumpy ride. What's up? Hey T Love. Happy hump day. Yeah. It's been good so far. It's been good. Can't complain. Got a lot of work done. Then had to run and get the kiddos and stuff like that. And I was like, look, too much went on today, so we ate out. I got them some takeout food. So I'm gonna be here for a minute and then I'm gonna finish up my work for today. But if you are not aware, Jay-Z's attorney has filed what's called an order to show cause. And with it, it's like a motion to strike and a motion to dismiss the Jane Doe case. Oh, in support of those documents, he has also brought the fact, or he has also brought up, and I'm talking about Alex, Jay-Z's attorney, that Busby is being sued by two former clients out of Louisiana. So, what's up, Tyron? I see you was the first one in the chat. What's up? What's up? Um, so we're gonna take a look at what Jay-Z filed, and we're gonna take a look at the two lawsuits that were actually there's two lawsuits out of Louisiana against Busby, and then there is an order to show cause in New York for a Jane Doe. I'm like, what is going on? I was, and I looked at the docket. I was like, this cannot be happening. They are really trying to come after Busby. What's up, Buttercup? Uh, yes, they will. I mean, I understand it from a legal point that you are paid to do your job and to defend its company. But then another part of me saying that they're really trying to hide something. And this is just my opinion. Okay. I'm entitled to my opinion. This is what I believe, that they're doing a lot of this in order to for the stuff to not come out. So I have not read the order to show cause or any of this, so y'all gonna get my raw reaction out of this. And I'm trying to see what's going on with Busby, because a lot of people don't understand the personal injury aspect of things. How when you get a settlement, whether it's pre-litigation or litigation, how attorney fees works, the case expenses, liens and all this other stuff. So I I believe that if these people are filing a lawsuit against Busby because they feel like they did not get paid, my question to them is, where's the settlement release that you signed, and where's the settlement memo that shows the breakdown? That, I mean, you have to have that in your possession. Don't come around talking about you lost it, because if you cared about how much you did not receive, then you should have hired another attorney and talk about your situation. Why wait now? Why wait now to, for Tony to go after Jay-Z and you see the crumbles fall, to you come out and say, "Oh, this happened." That's not right. That is not right at all. So we're gonna get into that, because I want to break this down, and this is one case that I do want to be able to stay up on so I can understand what's going. Because I missed the YSL trial, I missed the who other trial was it? It was somebody else. Megan. Megan Peach trial. So this is definitely something that I want to stay in the forefront of and make sure that I keep up with the updates, because this is just more. It's more than Diddy. It's more than Jay-Z. It's more than Epstein. It's more than Trump. It's a bigger organization that I feel that they're trying to take down, and they have to take steps in order to get to each level. That's what I'm thinking. That is what I'm thinking. Yes, please smash that like button, subscribe so y'all can tune in. Now, I don't just do this content or Krishan content. I try to cover what really piques my interest. So whether you watch or not, that's okay. I do this for fun, but I'm into politics. I'm into the law because I am a paralegal. And so this stuff interests me, and I hope it interests you as well. So definitely hit that like button, subscribe if you want to, keep up with the different content that I bring to the fore table. She said 19 likes and 12. I mean, 19 folks and 12 likes. Yeah, let's get that. Let's get that up. Let's get that up. And then I could go ahead and get started. So the first thing that I am going to let me turn this down. The first thing I am going to cover is the order to show cause. So, as I stated before, Jay-Z is not playing. He's not playing, and whatever it is that he wants to stay buried, they're gonna make sure that it stays buried. Okay, so let's hop on into this. All right, so the first thing y'all gonna see, it is, oh, where is the darn form? Hold on, let me bring the form back up. All right, so this is the proposed order to show cause, and I had to go back and see if the judge signed it. Now it does show that the clerk reviewed it and they approved it, but I don't know what the date is that they will actually have a hearing, or when Mr. what's his name, Busby, has to appear. But this is what an order to show cause is. Hold on, give me a second. Let me text this client. Da, 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 da. I hate when people call me after that. All right. So if you don't know an order to show cause, I'm pretty sure if some of you have been through family court and somebody files a motion for contempt against you for not paying child support, or you ain't letting the other party see their kids, they'll file a motion for enforcement or contempt. And what they'll also file is an order to show cause, which means that you have to appear before the judge to explain why you should not be placed in jail or be held in contempt. All right. So in this case, this is what they have filed. Jay-Z's attorney has filed this order to show cause, and it's just pretty much saying that the court is going to set a date, and it's going to require for that party to appear in court and explain why this particular motion should not be granted. Because remind you, he's trying to get this case dismissed. So it says, based upon the memorandum of law in support of defendant Sean Carter's emergency motion for an order to show cause and an order for the preservation of evidence dated December 18th, 2024, the accompanying declaration of Alex Spiro and the exhibits here attached thereto, and all other pleadings and proceedings had hearing, it is hereby. Now, preservation of evidence, that means they are ordering Busby not to destroy any evidence. So everything that they have to turn over when asked. If they are caught, or if they find out that any evidence is gone, then they could be held liable and they could get in trouble for that. Okay. So here's what's ordered. They ordered that the plaintiff shall show cause if any, she has, what? That doesn't make sense. Ordered that plaintiff shall show cause if any she has. Who is she? As to why a preservation order directing plaintiff and her. Oh, okay. They're talking about Jane Doe. Gotcha. As to why a preservation order directed plaintiff and her counsel Anthony Busby and the Busby law firm to preserve and refrain from destroying all evidence relevant to the above captioned lawsuit, and to strike the First Amendment complaint and dismiss Mr. Carter from this action pursuant to Federal Rules of Civil Procedure, Rule 12, Paragraph F. So remember, the amended complaint is what Tony Busby filed to change it from Doe to Sean Carter. And so that is what they're asking the court to dismiss. Let's see. Plaintiff shall show cause before this court in room, and I'm not reading all that. So he has to appear and he has to fight. He has to tell the judge, no, 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 don't file this motion to dismiss. Don't strike my motion, my amended complaint. Don't do this. So Tony is really going to have to bring forth the facts. Now, I don't know, like what I read last live, I'm just like, I think Tony has more, but I don't think that he's going to give it because we're not in the discovery phase yet. Or we probably are. I don't know. I don't work there, so I don't know. Let's see. Thank you, T Love. Thank you. All right. So Lola Jackson say Jay wants to know who they are so he can make sure they don't see Christmas. You on to something. I believe you are on to something. They are trying so hard. Now here's the kicker though. Remember that demand letter? The demand letter specifically stated that they wanted to do a confidential meeting to speak on the allegations, and he chose not to do that. So I think he would have had an opportunity at that time to find out who that person was, but he chose not to. And when you ignore demand, what we do is we file suit. And speaking of that, I have to make this quick because I gotta file a lawsuit now. But yeah, when you don't answer the demand like jayz did, the proper procedure is to file a lawsuit in order to get some type of action out of the other party. So I believe that was his fault. Pamela said, "Hi, Pamela," and "Hey, Lola." Pamela said, "Jay-Z is a smart guy. He's not messed like Diddy," and said he does not know Combs and they are not friends, I guess, since Diddy had been locked up. The last white party, he was there in pictures. Wow. I know. All you have to do is just go on to Getty Images and type in Jay-Z and Diddy, and you will see how many pictures they have together. Bananas. Yep, 4222. Come on, y'all. Come on. Yes, we're in discovery. I know discovery is about the longest process, but they got to collect all that evidence. So I don't know if it's Buzbee's just saying, okay, I'm gonna get y'all in discovery. We're just in the beginning stages, but he gonna let it unleash. He ain't gonna give it. Look, y'all have to understand, everything ain't for the public. All right. There's a timeline that a litigation timeline that you have to follow. You file the suit, you serve the people, you give them an opportunity to answer, then you go into discovery, interrogatories, request for production, um, and then what depositions. You might have to get experts, all types of things. So that's going to be the longest phase there. So I don't think that Busby is going to be like, okay, I'm a put all my guns on the line, right up front. No, he's strategically doing this. I really feel he's strategically doing this. Yes, yes, yes. All right, so let's get back into this. So Jay-Z is wanting the First Amendment complaint striked, and he wants to dismiss Mr. Carter from this action. And then so this is where the judge or the clerk will write the day and time that Tony has to appear before the judge. So it says, order that service of a copy of this order together with the supporting paper. So everything that I'm about to show y'all is going to be forwarded to Busby in the firm. And y'all, it's bananas what all they included in this. Y'all ready? Is y'all ready? All right. First thing first, they attached a memorandum of law to support the emergency motion for an order to show cause and an order for the preservation of evidence and to strike the complaint and dismiss Mr. Carter from the action. All right, and I'm not going to go through because all this stuff is long. I'm going to pick out uh a lot of stuff. So, table of contents will always give you what you need. First of all, this is what Jay-Z's attorney is trying to bring the court to see. They're like, look, Busby is not a good lawyer. He has been in so many situations as an attorney that is not right. It's unethical and it needs to be dealt with. So they're highlighting his misconduct in not only this particular suit, but other lawsuits that have been filed against Busby. Their argument is that, let me see. So it says an immediate preservation order is warranted because there is substantial risk that key evidence will not be preserved. So they're thinking that Busby is going to destroy all of this evidence. I don't like, what evidence are you talking about? Mr. Carter faces a significant risk that Busby will destroy relevant evidence. Absent a preservation order, Mr. Carter's right to conduct a full discovery will be irreparably harmed. And as I stated before, in discovery, the plaintiffs will draft up questions and a request for documents for the defense counsel to answer and produce, and vice versa. They will do the same. So Jay-Z's attorney is thinking that Busby is going to destroy evidence. So when it comes time for them to request production, Busby is not going to have it because it's already been destroyed. So that's their fear. Why they fear that, I have no clue. I really don't. And then it says the burden on Busby to preserve evidence is negligible. Lord Jesus, they just making this man out. Then it says, two, the court should strike the complaint as against Mr. Carter pursuant to Rule 12 of the Federal Rules of Civil Procedure. And then they cite all of these wonderful cases, blase, blase, blase. What the world? Trial of Rebecca Grossman, wealthy woman accused of unaliving two boys with her car gets away. Oh, I need to read that. I've never heard of that. All right, y'all. So I ain't gonna try to keep y'all. Let me get in this and then I'll start reading. So Pamela says, yes, I believe they, as in Jay and Diddy, there's still a lot they have to bury. A lot of people already has been paid off according to the man handling the case. That's why no bail. Mm-hmm. That's what I said. All right, let's get into this, y'all. So, defendant Sean Carter respectfully submits this memorandum in law in support of his emergency motion for an order to show cause and an order for the preservation of evidence and to strike plaintiff's complaint pursuant to the Federal Rules of Civil Procedure, Rule 12F1. Here's the preliminary statement. Y'all, so this is where it all started. Admissions by the plaintiff and damning admissions by her own father in a December 13th revelatory NBC cast interview cast yet further doubt on a claim that was obviously false from the start. The timeline, location, and occurrence of events alleged in plaintiff's complaint are rendered impossible by these admissions. She claims her father picked her up after the assault. He ever taking that 5-hour trip. She claims she spoke with musician Benji Madden that night. He was not even in New York. She claims the assault took place at the after party hosted in a private residence. Photos show Mr. Carter at an after party at a nightclub. Now, all I'm going to say is after the show is the after party, and after the party is the hotel lobby. And I mean, Jay-Z did say that in his song. When pressed by NBC, plaintiff was forced to admit, I have made some mistakes. I may have made a mistake in identifying. Not all the faces there are as clear, and even that she was guessing about key details, including the time it took to reach the venue, What is more, she admits she does not have a single corroborating witness over the last 24 years. Now, I've always stated that I'm going to sit back and observe only because I for I'm not kidding y'all. I can't remember dilly squat when I was 13. But I do have recollection of some bad things that has happened to me around that time, around that age. Um, so we can't say it's going to be hard because from what I learned about the young lady is that she also had a brain injury. So some things are not going to be clear, some things she is not going to remember, but there are there's specialists out there to kind of walk you through to get certain not events out of you, but kind of walk you through so you can try to remember. I've been seeing it in on so many true crime shows. So they can this is only the beginning of this lawsuit. So during discovery phase, hire someone that can help her remember so that her true story can come out. We can't sit here and be like, oh, she lying because the time doesn't. Y'all have to realize she's 13 years old. She also had suffered a brain injury or a head injury. One of the two. So we can't sit there and blame her for not remembering. And the second thing, who's going to tell their father? God is my witness. I have been through something in my life when I was around between 13 and 16. I did not tell anybody until I was 23 years old. Okay? So imagine a 13-year-old telling her father what happened. Paul, when she got in the car, she already lied where she was. She probably didn't even mention anything about going to any party. She just probably got in trouble for sneaking out the house and going all the way to New York City, to Radio City. So we have to also keep that in consideration. Keep an open mind. It says plaintiff unsupported allegations crumble under scrutiny as the evidence and the lack thereof reveals glaring inconsistencies and outright impossibilities in her story. Her account describes a jumbotron at the scene of the Video Music Awards, but according to NYPD sources and MTV producers, no such jumbotron existed. MTV applied for a permit to install one, but was denied. She references a house that supposedly fits the description of a location of the alleged assault, but no such house exists. Now, if y'all follow me on Instagram, I did post that house that Diddy had at the time. It was the White House, and it does have a U-shaped driveway. So if you haven't seen it, go over there. And it's also somebody on TikTok also take you into the house. I guess it's a real estate agent and he shows the whole house. But the White House does exist. He didn't sell that. He brought the house in 98. He sold the house in 2015. The house does have a U-shaped driveway. Okay. Now, number two, we got to think about this is probably not the first award, not the first, I don't want to say, not the last award show she went to. She probably went to many others. And then, as I stated, and this is just my theory, because she had this brain injury or head injury, everything is kind of mixed up. Everything is still kind of fuzzy. So that's why an expert comes in, sits down with her, and walk her through these instances so they can kind of sort out the events that happen and pertains to this particular case. And plaintiff's allegations became more dubious when considering the nightclub evidence. Photos of the night in question show Mr. Combs and Miss Jennifer Lopez at both Lotus and Twirl clubs in New York. Let me see what footnote. Okay, I'll describe that later. NBC reported that photos separately show that Mr. Carter was at Lotus following the VMAs. Taking together the factual inconsistency Inconsistencies, inconsistencies, timeline impossibilities, and the lack of corroborating evidence make plaintiff's allegation in the FAC wholly unreliable. Hmm. Not only do these extraordinary inconsistencies undermine plaintiff's case, they highlight severe misconduct by her counsel, Anthony Buzbee and the Buzbee Law Firm. Unable to escape the foundational cracks in plaintiff's story laid bare by the NBC interview, Busby was forced to backpedal, repudiating the very allegations he signed his name to. In an attempt to deflect from his own failures, he frost blame on another law firm, claiming the case was vetted before it was sent to his firm. And that could very well be. The only way they're going to know is if they provide the information to the other firm. Most of these firms have intake departments. I don't care how big or small you are, they have an intake department, especially if it came from another firm. That is not uncommon. At least the firms that I work with, they have intake. They have intake firms. If it was referred, then they have somebody who will contact the intake department and they would, get the information. That's why I always said, even as a paralegal, if we get a referral, I will still call the client and go over. I'll do the intake all over again to make sure that I have all of the details and facts. It says, and so concerned is Busby that he is now having his client sit for a polygraph. The takeaway is obvious. Busby failed to undertake a reasonable inquiry into the facts before filing the complaint, and then amending it to assert a claim against Mr. Carter, despite an affirmative duty to do so under Rule 11. But that was just one step in his cavalcade of misconduct. Though he has signed his name to pleadings and other documents filed in his case, Busby has declined to seek admission to this court, apparently seeking to circumvent this court authority to enforce Rule 11. If you don't know what Rule 11 is, I did do a video explaining what the Rule 11 was. So, when you don't have a license in a state, you have to file a pro hoc vice application. And if approved, then you are able to sign the pleadings and file whatever it is that you need to file in that jurisdiction or state. Now, why Tony has not done this, I have no clue. Because when I last read about this Rule 11, I was waiting on him to at least file a pro hoc vice, and he has not done so. And I believe that they were giving him time to do so, and since he didn't, and then he comes today and file these lawsuits or this lawsuit, then it was like, okay, let's go ahead and fight back. And here we are. T-Love says, so true, trauma can also cause the memory to suppress the traumatic event. I have secondhand experience of this happening. Oh, I'm so sorry. Yeah, and a lot of clients, that's why I learned how to be patient with some of the clients who have, in wrecks or other instances have some type of head injury or brain injury, because they honestly don't remember. So you have to be patient. Trying to get something out of them during the intake process is not going to work. They're actually going to have to go see a specialist or sit down with somebody that is in that field to help them through their memory. Busby's rule breaking also extends beyond this action. He has a long history of abusing the legal process and shirking ethical responsibilities. In a case in California Supreme Court, for instance, Busby was admonished by the judge for violating pretrial rulings. And the federal court in Texas rejected a fee arrangement orchestrated by Busby and his firm because it violated public policy. Let's see. The fundamental inconsistencies in plaintiff's case revealed in the NBC interview, coupled with Mr. Busby's chronic inability to follow the rules in this case and others, creates a substantial risk that Busby will destroy evidence damaging to plaintiff's case, including evidence of his own, own misconduct, impairing the integrity of the judicial process. In order immediately mandating the preservation of all evidence relevant to this case is necessary to ensure that Mr. Carter has a full and fair opportunity to present his defense against plaintiff's fictitious claims. The Busby is not that Busby is not admitted to this court and thus is apparently attempting to avoid its disciplinary authority only underscores the pressing need for such order. For the same reasons, all of the plaintiff's allegations about Mr. Carter are scandalous, warranting striking them from the FAC under the Federal Rules of Civil Procedure. This is cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, bro. And I'm that now I am side eyeing Buzz because, bro, why haven't you filed this Pro Hawk Vice application? I'm confused at this right now. All right, yeah, I'll definitely get them likes up. All right, so let's talk about Mr. Busby's conduct. Because in my last live, somebody says, well, he has 2 federal lawsuits against him, blase, blase, blase. And I'm not dismissing those. But what I'm trying to tell people is they are trying to deter y'all from the fact that Jay-Z and his team paying people to harass and stalk Busby. They're trying to throw Busby off his game, make him bow out, make him quit, so this litigation won't go any further. Secondly, they're trying to do everything that they can to bring out the true identity of Jane Doe. So what? Y'all can harass her too? All right, so let's talk about Busby's conduct since everybody want to talk about it. All right, so in this particular lawsuit, let me see. Did they already talk about it? I don't want to reread it if they already did it. No, we'll do it again. So here's his conduct in this particular suit. So he filed this lawsuit on October 20th, against Mr. Combs and his associated businesses on behalf of anonymous Jane Doe plaintiff. The initial complaint alleged that Mr. Combs, along with another unnamed male celebrity, raped plaintiff at an after party held by Mr. Combs' home following the VMAs. Rather than naming Mr. Carter as a defendant when the original complaint was filed, Busby resorted to a campaign of extortion seeking to extract an exorbitant sum in private mediation and threatening to go public with false and outrageous allegations that Mr. Carter raped multiple minors unless Mr. Carter, I guess that's acquiesced. Now, this is crazy because in any other pleading, y'all stated that he was trying to extort money. Now, all of a sudden, y'all know that he was trying to just have a private mediation with you guys. Which one is it? I'm telling y'all, that's standard. It's really standard. You can try to settle before you go into litigation, but what happens, you send a demand letter. In Texas, you have to send a demand letter. I don't care if it's a small claims lawsuit, a civil lawsuit, whatever type of lawsuit, you are required to send a 10-day demand letter to that individual or to the defendant. If they do not respond in 10 days, you send another one and you say what, 5 days or one of them days, and you make sure you send them certified mail return receipt, because that is your evidence that you tried to reach out and you have tried to, resolve whatever it is that, was going on at that time. So they're calling it a campaign for extortion, but in reality, it's just a demand. Let's sit down and let's talk about this. That's all. Oh man. Let's see. Mr. Carter refused, as we saw, because he didn't even he put a statement out rather than respond to the demand letter. It was only after this attempt to squeeze Mr. Carter that Mr. Busby filed the FAC, adding Mr. Carter as a defendant and alleging that he was the previously unnamed male celebrity. Gotta turn my phone. There we go. Vibrate. Okay. Let's see. All right. So the First Amendment complaint alleges that on or around September 7th, so these are the facts. These are the facts that she remembers. This is what she remembers, y'all, okay? Exactly. Thank you for pointing this out. You will definitely need a professional in the exactly in the psychological field to use repressed memory therapy. However, it is controversial. It is a controversial technique. Oh, I didn't even know that. But I'm glad. But yeah, we have done that in some of these cases. So, all right. So these are the facts based off of Jane Doe. So the First Amendment complaint alleges that on or around September 7th, 2020, 2000, plaintiff attended an after party in New York City, purportedly hosted by Mr. Combs at a large white residence with shaped uh, a U-shaped driveway and a large living room or foyer. At the after party, the First Amendment complaint alleges plaintiff recognized many celebrities, which included people like Fred Durst, Benji Madden, and others. The FAC then alleges that she was rugged and then actually assaulted by Mr. Combs. The First Amendment complaint also alleges that Mr. Carter was the previously unnamed male celebrity B who was purportedly essayed plaintiff. After the incident, plaintiff allegedly left the party and went to the gas station, where she called her father, admitted that she lied about her whereabouts, and asked him to pick her up. Plaintiff's father then purportedly arrived to pick her up shortly before dawn. So it took him a while to even get there. Whoo, wee. This is crazy. Now, my question, and I've been trying to figure this out since I caught wind of this, is if she is referring to the White House that I looked up in the Hamptons. Now, I know it's been 24 years later, but I didn't see no gas station. So I was like, did you get a ride to the gas station? Like how? What happened? So that is I do have some questions. But I can't say that okay, you lied about this cuz we don't know just yet. I see everybody coming out with their little theories. Even the attorney tried to show where it's impossible to do this, and this. I believe that they should go ahead and just hire an expert and just go that route. All right, so just 5 days after Busby filed the FAC containing these scandalous allegations, NBC News published a story containing excerpts of interviews that its reporters held with plaintiff and her father, and presenting other information that severely undermines the merits of this lawsuit. I don't know why they do lawsuits. I mean, not lawsuits, interviews. I would never suggest anybody to do a lawsuit. I mean, golly, it's been a long day. To do an interview, if you're actively in a lawsuit, I would not suggest people do interviews because you can incriminate yourself. Number two, we always advise to don't post on social media until after, because social media will get you caught up. But everybody different. For example, NBC reported that photos of Mr. Carter from the night of the purported assault show him at a nightclub in New York called Lotus, which has no resemblance to the white residence with a U-shaped driveway and a large living room described in plaintiff's FAC. I really want to pull up my Instagram so I can show y'all this because people gonna think she crazy. Wait, what am I on? All right, so while that's logging in, um, photos from that night also show that Mr. Combs and Miss Lopez attended parties at two nightclubs on the night in question, Lotus and Twirl. Further, despite being sure she talked to Benji Madden at the after party about his tattoo of the Last Supper, because she has a religious background, so it was something to talk about. Mr. Madden was never there. Who, child? He did not attend the VMAs, did not attend the purported after party, and was not even in New York at the time. Instead, he was halfway across the country in the Midwest on tour with his band Good Charlotte. Finally, though, the FAC alleges that the plaintiff called her father to pick her up from the gas station following the assault, he denied that happened. This denial was damning. In fact, he told NBC he was unaware of his daughter's assault allegation until the week he was interviewed. As I stated, we are not going to sit there and tell our parents right off the rip. I mean, some people will, but majority of us will not. She was already in trouble for going clear across the country. um In fact, he told NBC he was unaware. Oh, wait. NBC reported that he had no recollection whatsoever of picking up plaintiff on the night of the VMAs. And plaintiff and her father were living in Rochester at the time, which would have required her father to drive more than 5. Okay, so this is the part. It says to drive more than 5 hours from their home to pick her up on the night in question, an event that no father would forget if it actually happened. Now, then somebody, oh, wait, I'm going to read this and then I'll talk. Her father admitted as much, telling NBC, I feel like I would remember that, and I don't. That's something that would definitely stick in my mind. Her father recalled one instance when he picked plaintiff up in the middle of the night, but he said it was a local drive in Rochester. Then somebody say that the father has some things going on back in that time. Now, why I can't get into my Instagram? Hold on, y'all, because I'm about to be upset. Because I thought somebody hacked into my Instagram. We was about to have us a problem. Because I want to show y'all this. And maybe I'm tripping. Maybe I am tripping. Oop. Wrong Instagram. Crud biscuits. I don't know what's going on with my Instagram, man. I think somebody done tried to hack me. I'll figure it out in a minute. Cause I want y'all to see this house. You know what? Screw it. Hold on. Cause I am going to have to. How am I gonna do this? Cause Google be tripping if you show the freaking address. Dang it. Hold on, I'm gonna figure it out. I'm gonna figure it out. But it has a U-shaped driveway, y'all. Just trust me on this. It got a U-shaped driveway. Trust me. All right. Da da da. Moreover, Busby effectively admitted to NBC that his firm failed to conduct any investigation into the merits of plaintiff's claims prior to the filing extraordinary allegations of child rape against Mr. Carter. Busby seeks to shrink his Rule 11 obligations and frost blame onto another law firm for the glaring inconsistencies exposed by NBC report. Rather than conducting his own due diligence to vet his client claims, Busby merely relied on the purported vetting of another firm, telling NBC, Jane Doe's case was referred to our firm by another who vetted it prior to sending it to us. And that's normally what happens. But no one from the other firm signed the pleadings in this case. Busby did. His failure to investigate the claims violated Rule 11. Further, as explained in the letter, Mr. Carter filed with this court on December 13th, 2024, in the more than 8 weeks since he signed the initial case. So they're upset that this man, and I'm trying to figure out why this man did not go ahead and, file the pro hack vice, but that's another thing. So that's his misconduct. So what they're trying to say, his misconduct in this case is that he didn't file a pro hack vice application to practice in this jurisdiction. He did not vet Jane Stowe claim as it was referred from another firm. And he just didn't do his due diligence. All right. And he also didn't follow none of the rule. Well, none of the rule 11. He didn't follow the rule 11. So that's the problem. Now, what is very interesting to me is that two former clients filed lawsuits against him out of Louisiana. And I was like, are you serious? So I have not gone over them. So like I said, it's something that all of us is going to watch. Definitely hit that like button. So here's the misconduct in the other suits, and this is what jayz's attorney is trying to bring to the light. Busby's gross violation of Rule 11 in this case and his failure to comply with the court's admission requirements are just most recent examples in a long line of litigation misconduct. For instance, the Busby and his firm were recently accused of violating the rules of professional conduct by three former clients for his deceitful conduct. And I have all of those here. So we got two misappropriation, and that's talking about the settlement funds complaint. And then we have a malpractice summons. Oh, that's why it wasn't no complaint, because it was a summons. So they can file malpractice on an attorney. What is more, according to the former clients of Busby, the Busby law firm dropped her as a client. Dropped her as a client after she resisted the firm's efforts to pressure her to adopt a false narrative of her experiences as a victim of trafficking by celebrities, unrelated to this case. Now, here's my thing. If they don't want to take your case, they don't want to take your case. And it just depends on whatever allegations you state. If they don't feel like it is a strong enough case, they don't have to accept your case. I'm just telling y'all this. Not everybody case will make it. I mean, you might find an attorney that say, I'll do an investigation on it and let you know. But if you don't have a strong case, they don't have to take your case. A lot of people fail to realize that a firm does not have to take your case. It doesn't matter how much money you're going to pay them. If there's not enough to do on that case, it's a no-go. Let's see. Specifically, the Busby law firm pressed her to confirm that she was rugged, held down, pushed, and physically assaulted, all false details. Moreover, she was repeatedly asked for a connection to Mr. Combs, though she made clear her case was unrelated to him. And already in this case, he violated Rule 3.4E of the New York Rules of Professional Conduct, prohibiting attorneys from threatening to present criminal charges solely to obtain an advantage in a civil trial. By making such threats to Mr. Carter to extract a settlement prior to bringing frivolous claims against him in uh the what's that First Amendment complaint. But here's the thing: he didn't ask for a settlement. He didn't even ask for money. They asked to have a confidential sit down. So why are y'all saying? Because above y'all said he just wanted a private um meeting, but here now you're trying to say they're trying to extract a settlement prior to filing a frivolous lawsuit. He didn't ask for that. I wish they would post the demand letter. I think they did. I need to go back on look through that filing. Busby also has a track record of employing suspect tactics. I just spilled my water. Employing suspect tactics to gain an unfair advantage in the course of litigation. Busby, because Busby frequently serves clients on a contingency arrangement, he has a personal stake in the outcome of his cases and has demonstrated his creativity in stepping over the line to promote his own interests. What? In one notable case, a federal court invalidated a referral agreement. This is the attorney client agreement. All right. So they invalidated a referral agreement between Busby and a known fact witness in the case as invalid as a matter of public policy, which never mind, it was a referral agreement. Which entitled the witness to 15% of the gross attorney's fees if Busby clients was victorious. Uh, I don't know what to say about that because they do. I know a firm that actually does referral fees. So I don't get that. If this is a witness, I don't know. This is interesting. Um, in another unscrupulous tactic, in order to get a case heard in favorable venue, the Buzbee firm submitted venue pleadings and a client affidavit characterized as at best incorrect and at worst fraudulent. After the defendant counsel notified Buzbee law firm that his clients misrepresented facts that affected the trial court's venue determination, Busby unilaterally non-suited the case and refiled a substantially similar case in another favorable venue. Finally, Busby has demonstrated a lack for respect for and willingness to violate judicial orders. In one case, Busby baselessly accused former baseball player Scott Erickson of being to blame for a unaliving while representing criminal defendant Rebecca Grossman. He falsely claimed Erickson was the driver who hit and unalived two young boys and was hiding in the bushes after the fatal act, despite no evidence to support his assertion. Oh, now that is wrong. Prosecution accused Busby and his team of unethical behavior, stating they were making a mockery of the justice system. The presiding judge deb- rebuked Busby, declaring, "We cannot have the defense violating pretrial ruling and expose the jury to evidence that contradicts those rulings." Oh man. And reprimanded him for his conduct, stating that if it continued, the court would consider financially sanctioning Busby and report it to the bar. And so that's why I didn't see any of that. Now, if he did this, I need to read that article. That is sad. You can't sit there and blame somebody and they wasn't even the cause of the accident. So that's sad. With no evidence. In her initial statement, she never said that she couldn't remember everything or that her account wouldn't be clear, only after she was confronted in the interview. Okay, gotcha. Just catching up, but as grown adults, we cannot keep an open mind and believe a parent wouldn't remember, ask, go to the police after picking up their child in a towel at a gas station. Yeah, but see, that's the thing. We don't know all of the facts either. She didn't tell him. Now, if she told him, I'm pretty sure that the father would have done what he needed to do. But I don't even think she told him. She just told him that she snuck out, and that was about it. Let's see. All right, that's the legal standings. I'm not gonna go through all that. I'm just trying to get to the juicy stuff for everybody. So they have to put their legal standings for why they need to do what they need to do. The argument. That's what I'm trying to figure out. Why do they think that Busby is going to destroy something? So revelations from the recent NBC interview have Busby willing and have established at minimum a very high likelihood that Busby violated Rule 11 by signing the First Amendment complaint. That interview exposed that claim against Mr. Carter is meritless, and Busby all but concedes that he failed to vet plaintiff's allegations before filing this lawsuit and amending it to include Mr. Carter by seeking to place a blame on or for his shortcomings in an unnamed law firm who allegedly referred him the case. So this is so they're saying because Busby did not follow Rule 11, meaning he did not gain admission to that jurisdiction, and he signed pleadings and he actually filed them in this jurisdiction. They believe because he got caught, he gonna just get rid of everything, so they don't have anything to prove. They can't prove he did this, this, and this. This is crazy. Let me see. Yeah, I have to go back and watch the video. So she says she ran in a towel with her clothes in her hand from the party to a gas station. And see, and if y'all know me, y'all know I've said I am going to sit back and I'm going to observe this because I don't know. I can't say she telling the truth. I can't say she telling a lie. I went on my own rabbit hole, down my own rabbit hole, trying to figure out, you know, where she was at, what gas stations were close to her. Why can't I get, hold on, y'all, because I'm really trying, because I really want y'all to see this. And the only reason why I want to show it from my Instagram is because I've already um how can I do this? Because I've already whited out what I needed to, so y'all won't have all that other information. Where is my what? Okay, I'm gonna sign out because this can't this can't be. Have y'all ever tried to get on y'all computer and to go through Instagram and it just don't work? Hold on, let me log in like that. I'll try one more time because if I don't get it, I'm gonna be mad. Like every now and then, stuff want to just go crazy. I don't know my Instagram password. Oh wait, I hope y'all can't see me logging in and stuff. Okay, good. All right, y'all give me about 30 seconds. Y'all chat cuz I'm trying. I won't we gotta come to this. This is wild, ain't it? that's why that's why I said I can't say nothing. I was like, I'm just taking into consideration some things, but I'm just gonna sit back and take notes and see what I can come up with because yeah, that is my password. So why can't I get in to my freaking I can get into one Instagram, but I can't get into my other one. What? That would be so fun. Oh no, I can't. Hmm. I ain't got no other way to even get into my Instagram. This has gotta be somebody gotta be playing the oh y'all know what? I'ma just go ahead and forward it to myself, my regular one. Obviously, I don't know what's going on. Where my inbox at? It's a me one, Mr. Grinch. All right, now we about to go down the rabbit hole. That's why I'm like, I don't know. I'ma sit back in the cut. I don't know. From Rochester to Radio City. It is 5 hours. Well, and that was I did this at nighttime, so it could be traffic. So what he's saying it was over 5 hours, right? It would be over. He didn't say it was 5 hours. He said it would be over more than 5 hours. All right. Now, from Radio City to the house in the Hamptons, it was a 2 hour and 12-minute drive. So that's definitely not no 20 minutes. Okay. So from the White House that she's describing, it is literally 2 hours. So I'm like, okay, did she get the timing wrong? Because once again, at the age 13, I don't remember dilly squat except for things that were significant that actually would cause me to remember. So from Radio City to the White House, and I'm not talking about the one in DC, I'm talking about the White Mansion, is 2 hours. Now, here is the White House, the mansion, the White Mansion. This is the U-shaped driveway. Now, to her, if when you're coming in, and I'll show y'all closely, it's actually U-shaped. Now, so I'm thinking, well, maybe she got the time wrong. Maybe it was more than 20 minutes. She just doesn't remember, and she's just saying it's 20 minutes. All right, so that's one entryway into the driveway. I hope y'all can see this. That's one entryway. And then that's the other entryway. And then that's the famous White House where all the parties was, right? Now, I'm gonna post the TikTok where y'all can see the inside of the house because it is a large area. Now, if she's seen that house prior to this, I have no clue. Now, if she ran, I'm telling y'all this, I checked to see if there was any gas stations in that area, and it's nothing but trees and houses. But like I said, this is 24 years later, and Google Maps updates every now and then. So if there was a gas station, I would not even know how to find that out. But what I can say is if the father picked her, I don't even, so if she ran to the gas station, called the father, he would have drove more than 5 hours. So it's just from Rochester to where the White House is, the White Mansion is 7 hours. But if she ran to the gas station, it would still probably be, 7 hours. And that's that. So I wanted to show you that because I promise you, I'm going down the rabbit hole too. Because I was like, some things don't add up. All right. Somebody had a question, which was a great question. Tilo says, yeah, this is wild. I'm gonna sit back in the cut and observe everything as I am. They probably expected everyone to believe Jay-Z's guilt without asking questions. Oh, everybody's definitely going to ask questions. The lawyer doesn't even know what supposedly happened at this point since he hasn't finished vetting her story. Yeah, but y'all have to understand, anytime, how can I say this? In the cases that I do, I do the intake, and I am the paralegal that actually work on their case. And this is before pre-litigation. So I only know what they tell me. Normally what I do is I get a police report, right? And that will tell me information. But nobody will actually find out truly what happened until they are questioned. And they are questioned in what's called a deposition. And deposition happens during the discovery phase. So we're not even at that point to where they would have professionals come in and sit down with her and do all of this and that and ask these questions. So we can't say, like I said before, we can't say that her story is fake. We can't say that she's a liar. We can't say none of that because we haven't even got to the discovery phase. Jay-Z's attorney is just saying, oh, Tony Busby, he's this, he's that, he hasn't done this, we should just throw away the case. And unfortunately, you can mess somebody's case up when you don't follow the legal guidelines. So what I think Tony is doing right now, it is reckless. Because, sir, why are you now? You done filed the lawsuit, and I understand why you filed that lawsuit today. But why haven't you filed a pro hoc vice application so you can continue working on this case? I'm very confused about that. I don't even think that is a strategy. I don't know what that is. Yes, thank y'all for coming. Thank y'all for watching the video. Thank y'all for tuning in with me. Hit that like button. Then why bring this case if he did not research it first? That's the thing. So, once again, y'all have to remember, Jay-Z is calling it an extortion letter. It is a simple demand, okay? That demand letter said, hey, let's sit down and have a confidential meeting to discuss the allegations. All right. So in Texas, what we do, if you don't respond to our demand letter by a certain day, we file a lawsuit to get you to respond. And that's why Tony Busby filed this lawsuit. JC did not respond to that letter. So to get somebody to talk, if you file a lawsuit, that will get somebody to talk. And you just look at Diddy and Cassie. Cassie sent what they call, once again, an extortion letter, all right, a demand. He didn't want to do whatever it is. He didn't want to pay. So she filed a lawsuit. And what happened? He paid within 24 hours. So that's a strategy. T-Love said, excellent question, Pamela. Maybe because he thought Jay-Z would fold and pay like all the other celebs he shook down to keep. But y'all, that's the thing. He didn't ask for any money. He just asked to sit down and have a meeting to discuss everything. Anything possible, I think the case with Diddy might fall apart a little because this is supposed to be a RICO case where the rest of the people. Yeah. Well, we shall see where the rest of the people come. Oh, yeah. Okay. We getting them likes up. Thank y'all. In that case, why did he let her go on TV too? That's the part. But sometimes you do have clients that don't listen. Like, I let them know when we take on your case, don't post on social media. And if it's one of those bigger cases, don't go to the media. That's the last place that you want to go, to the media. Now, if you went to the media before your lawsuit, then we can't do nothing about that. We just go ahead and we subpoena the news stations to get that coverage. But other than that, So yeah, Tony, I don't know why they allowed her to do that. I really don't. Sometimes you have to think they want the public to also be the jury, so the court of public opinion. How come no one is alarmed seeing a distressed and probably rugged 13-year-old girl while she was waiting more than 5 hours in front of a gas station in the middle of the night? Now that is a good question as well, because my thing is, the girl didn't even, now here's I don't even know how true this is. So if the girl came to my gas station in a towel, I'm not, yeah, you could call your dad, and I'm going to tell your dad to meet us at the hospital or at the police station. That's number one. That is number one. Number two, I don't even think I don't have a number two. But that's something. Yeah, if she was distressed, I would have called the popos, not the girl's father. And I would allow her to call her father to let her know that we're going down to the police station. What's up, Wonder Woman? Hey, hey, hey. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right. So yeah, so they are fearing that Busby is going to destroy evidence because he's not following the rules. He hasn't even filed admission into the jurisdiction to practice law in that particular state. On top of that, he putting out frivolous claims. He's stating that he didn't do his due diligence and he didn't vet the client before he came on. So pretty much everything that is in the first amended complaint is a lie concerning Jay-Z. Y'all know what's funny, right? How can I even say this? They are really going hard. Like, Jay-Z is really going hard on this part. Diddy ain't gonna say nothing anyway. He got about 200 lawsuits against civil essay lawsuits, so he probably ain't gonna say nothing. But anywho, let me go into this. So that's one thing that they're gonna say. So they're thinking because Tony Busby has been outed that he's going to destroy evidence, and they don't want him to do that. Let me see. Here are several conditions or considerations established far more than some danger that Busby will destroy evidence. First, the NBC News report makes it extremely likely that Busby failed to properly vet the claims he made in the complaints in this case, a clear violation of Rule 11, his willingness to blatantly violate the core ethical obligation of all attorneys raised the serious possibility that he will seek to destroy evidence documenting his actions. Second, Busby's uttered disregard for his obligations as an attorney, namely his violations of rules governing admissions to the bar of the court and his violation of Rule 11, raise a significant possibility that his law firm has inadequate retention procedures in place. And I can't even argue with that because I don't know why he did not file a pro hoc vice application. I really don't. Third, as explained in Mr. Carter's December letter to the court, Busby is apparently attempting to circumvent this court's authority to enforce Rule 11 by refusing to seek admission to the court despite the fact that he has signed the complaints and other filings. Fourth, Busby's disregard to the rules in other cases underscores the need for a preservation order here. For instance, in the federal case in Texas, Busby orchestrated a fee arrangement with a known fact witness that the court struck down as invalid as a matter of public policy. And in another case in the California Superior Court, in which Busby was defense counsel, the judge admonished Busby for his misconduct, stating, "This shouldn't be happening as we go forward. We can't have defense violating pretrial ruling and expose the jury to evidence that contradicts those rulings." Finally, Busby and his firm has been sued for extortion in California's Superior Court for the allegations relating to his conduct, and that's the lawsuit by jayz. So jayz versus Busby. Busby and his firm, therefore, face personal liability for their conduct related to this lawsuit, creating a financial incentive to destroy evidence that is unfavorable to their client, especially in light of the NBC News allegations and Busby's history of blatant violations of these rules, including his failure to seek admission in the case anytime in the last 2 months. Mr. Carter faces a substantial danger that relevant evidence will be destroyed absent a preservation order. Lord, 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 this is getting horrible. I promise you, I thought we was going to get through today, but jayz said, it is coming full. Oh, with his son, I need to look into that because at first I wasn't going to tap into the son part. But if jayz is really this man's father, I don't put nothing past jayz. I really don't. That is the one question that should be answered. Oh, y'all doing good on the likes. Thank y'all. Oh, let's see. Absent a okay, so they saying if a preservation order is not set in place, then Busby is going to get rid of all of the evidence, and that will not only hurt his case, but is also going to hurt the plaintiff's case. Right? This is I don't even know what to say about this. This is beyond crazy. Let me see. Given that Busby has already ignored his ethical obligations in this case, the court cannot rely on Busby to abide by his duty to preserve relevant evidence. I must agree. I must agree. Mr. Carter receives fair discovery. So, to ensure that he receives fair discovery, the court must impose a preservation order, as he is entitled to do so. As he is entitled. Thank you, Queen Grandma. Yes, ma'am. Alrighty, so let's see. I'm just trying to get through this because this is a lot. All right, so the motion should strike the complaint as against Mr. Carter. So the revelations from NBC interview not only demonstrate a substantial risk that discovery will be destroyed, but it also that the First Amendment complaint should be stricken under Rule 12F1. The amended complaint alleges that Mr. Carter committed heinous acts. But as described above, those allegations are baseless and fatally contradicts by plaintiff and her father's statements to NBC. That's why I hate that she did that interview. I really do. To say that these allegations reflect unnecessarily on Mr. Carter's moral character is a gross understatement. They cited English, which states a striking complaint on the court's own initiative because racist and needlessly inflammatory language in plaintiff's complaint was immaterial, impertinent, and scandalous. These salacious allegations against Mr. Carter serve no purpose other than to harass him and pressure him to settle a lawsuit based on false claims. And that's what I'm trying to figure out. Why do they keep saying that they're pressuring him to settle when all they asked for was a confidential meeting? I'm not getting it. All right, the court should dismiss plaintiff's entire First Amendment complaint and at minimum strike the allegations contained, therefore referencing Mr. Carter, and dismiss him from this action. So, in conclusion, what this memo of support is just saying is that Tony failed to get all facts from his client. In addition to that, he has failed to obtain a mission in that jurisdiction. So he shouldn't even be practicing in the state of New York. That's number 2. So when you put all of these together, because he didn't vet the client and because she contradicted herself on a national broadcast, everything that is in the First Amendment complaint should be stricken from the record like it never happened. And the case should be dismissed from Mr. Carter because Mr. Carter said he ain't did it. He don't know what she talking about. He wasn't there. It was all Diddy because he's shading Diddy, really. He is. Mr. Carter dismissed from this action. Let me see. And to set a hearing on this motion for December 19th. Wait, they're trying to get a hearing. So I don't know. I'm gonna have to keep up with this. Good googly muggly. So they asking for a hearing tomorrow morning at 9, and that's Eastern Standard Time. So that would be 8 o'clock our time. Baby, that's correct. Man, what I'm saying, this is the new age soap opera. Like, we ain't gotta watch Days of Our Lives or As the World Turns or Bold and the Beautiful and all them. No, we could just Oh, okay. Gotcha. All right. So that's the memo. Man, let me see, because I ain't trying to go through all this. So let's see what he said. Declaration of Alex. So, oh yeah, so the attorney put in his little declaration, right? He's a partner. Y'all see that? Quinn Emanuel. You remember what we talked about earlier? How this firm is working with that private lawyer, what's her name? Marcy Crawford, and that private investigator, Jessica Santiago, and those 2 men or whoever they are in New York that's going up to clients asking them, saying, I'll pay you $1,000 to $10,000 if y'all do a class action suit against Busby. Mm. I was like, y'all calling Busby shady, but they doing some shady stuff, but they don't want that brought up. All right, so he's just saying that. All right, so here are the 2 cases. I'm not going to go through the whole entire docket. I'm just going to get to the facts. So 2 former clients filed a lawsuit against Busby in Louisiana. They broke it down. All right, so here's the first person. So who is this person? Adam Goudry. I think that's how you say his name. So let's see why Adam sued Busby. Tony Busby and the Busby law firm represented Adam Goudry, a U.S. Coast Guard licensed ship captain who was severely injured on the job. I'm gonna tell you right now, I don't know, but if he was injured on the job, workers' comp, and a personal injury, you got 2 things that's happening here. All right. If you get a personal injury settlement, workers' comp automatically has a lien. I'm just going to throw that out there. So whatever your settlement is, minus attorney fees, minus cost of the case, minus any liens, workers' comp, Medicaid, Medicare, that comes out. If you got child support, that comes out. Your medical providers, that comes out. And then whatever's net left, that's yours. So I'm trying to figure out, let's see. The Buzbee defendants told Guidry his case was worth $1 million, but later coerced him into settling for less than 1/3 of that amount. Now, that's where they messed up at. A great attorney always told me you never let clients know up front what their case is valued, because if you do, they're going to be expecting that amount. You won't know how much their case is worth until you get all of the facts, you get all of their medical records and all of their medical bills and whatever else, and then that's how you determine what their case is worth. But you know, the firm knows, but the client should never know. And every time I always get that question, I was like, well, unfortunately, that's not something that I could tell you because every case is different. It depends on your treatment, it depends on your injuries, da 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 da. And I leave it at that. Because I break it down simple as to I can't tell you how much your case is worth because one, I don't know what your injuries are. And two, if I did, I still wouldn't even know because I don't even know how much your medical bills will be. So now they're saying that later they coerced this man into settling for less than 1/3. So we're going to see. In insisting that he settle, Busby defendants never explained Gertie's options, never discussed the pros and cons of trial versus settlement, never disclosed mounting expenses, and never disclosed the meager amount Guidry would receive at distribution. Instead, Busby defendants told Guidry that he had no choice. He was vulnerable. He had lost his job as a result of his injury and was financially destitute. His marriage had failed and he was struggling with addiction. Relying on his lawyers, he accepted. Now, I'm just going to put this out there. Before you sign up with a PI firm, personal injury firm, before we start any work, before we start any investigation, you receive what is called a attorney-client agreement, which outlines every single thing that he just stated here. How much the attorney fees are pre-lit, how much attorney fees are if you go to litigation, how much attorney fees are if you decide to appeal, and then whatever else is in the attorney-client agreement. I always tell clients you need to read that in its entirety before you sign. Some people just be eager and they sign it, and then later they come back and we done settled their case after you done signed the settlement release, you done signed the settlement memo. Oh, why am I getting this, or why is the fee this? Well, you signed this on such and such date, which showed you what the attorney's fees were. So you can't blame anybody else if you don't do your due diligence and read your attorney-client contract before you start your case with us or any firm for that matter. But carry on. Now, the settlement funds were dispersed. So this is how it works. He received, now it depends. How can I say this? Lord Jesus. You have your settlement amount, and then you have a workers' comp lien. And then you have all your other expenses that are coming out after everything is taken out. So his net amount was only $5,123.19. See where they messed up at? Was telling them how much his case was worth. I wonder how much his medical bills were. Let's see. The Busby had taken out 98% of his final disbursement and 74% of all overall settlement. The Busby law firm deducted 53,000 in fees. Well, what was the attorney's fees? Oh, I wish I could do this calculation right here. Um, mm, 53,000. Where's my calculator? Dang it, I ain't got it. So they deducted 53,000 in fees and $266,876.81 in expenses. Okay, so this went to trial. So if this went to trial, the litigation fees alone, the attorney fees is approximately 40%. So keep that in mind. You have to think about all the fees that are associated for filing, getting the party served, expert witnesses, ordering medical records. And these experts, like if they got to go to trial or they got to take time to do a report, they're going to charge you. They full, like if they got to miss a day of the office, you're going to have to pay them their salary for that day. That's how that works. But anywho's, let me quit diverting. So let me see what those fees are. It says, wait, was that one? Yeah. So it says $85,450 of this amount was for loans. There you go. That's why I always tell. They always ask, "Can we get a loan?" I be no, and I'm not trying. I promise you, I'm not trying to be mean. I know your situation, and what I do is I say you need to go to down to the city, call 211 or whoever, and see if you can get assistance. Because if you get a loan, your loan is going to eat your settlement up. Like these loans out, if y'all go to like Oasis Financial or whoever, their interest rate is outrageous. Them interest rates be like 200%. So you can't get mad that you got $5,000 back because you decided to take out a loan. I know you had to take out a loan because you was going through some things, but if you could try to hold off, I suggest that you do that. I've had some clients that be mad because I tell them no, and they thank me later because now they have more in their bank account versus this little $5,000. But anywho's, so $85,000 for loans, 13,000, roughly 13,000 to satisfy a third party loan that he took out for living expenses. So that right there is about 100K. All right. So that right there is about 100K. So 53,000 and came out for the attorney's fees, and then you had expenses. So he had loans. They had expert witness, approximately 90,000. $5,000 for postage and copies. That sounds about right. 9,000 some odd for copies. Yes, because y'all got those depot transcripts that you have to get. Those cost. Those cost. For an attorney, travel expenses, and adding insult to injury, $150 for closing fees. I see that. I'm just trying to figure out, none of these fees are out of the ordinary. I promise y'all they're not. Moreover, the Busby defendants deducted $25,723.42 in fees and expenses for a referring attorney who, despite promptly handing off Guidry, claimed he accumulated $4,000. Okay, so he possibly had a lien. And sometimes the referral attorneys do have referral fees. Worst of all, perhaps, the Busby defendants charge him $23,000 in interest on a $85,000 loan. Okay. The rules of professional conduct require fairness in the transparency in any financial transaction with a client. Even then, the amount of interest a lawyer can charge a client is limited. Okay, so he got it from the lawyer. The Busby defendants kept Guidry in the dark as his loans grew by 27%. Well, that's better than 200%. This exploitive practice not only violated ethical standards but also compounded his financial hardship and vulnerability. Oh my gosh. So they breached their legal and ethical duties, justly enriched themselves at his expense. Oh my gosh. This, let me see. Let's see about this man. So he's a relentless. Oh, they talk about Tony Busby. All right. So in 2020, Mr. Guidry, I hope I'm saying his name right, was referred to the Busby law firm. He was severely injured while working at General Eisenhower. Why have I heard this case? In February 2020, the Busby law firm filed suit against Callan Marine Ltd., who is the owner of General Eisenhower. Despite initially valuing his claim at 1 million, they coerced him into settling than less than one third. Okay, so look, and I'm kind of skipping all this because this is what I want to look at. He settled for this amount, $325,000. Now, this I am assuming was in trial. They did not settle it pre-litigation. So now your attorney's fees alone off top is 45% of that minus whatever. So it's your settlement minus attorney fees minus a cost or anything associated with that. That's including litigation fees, experts, all of that. When the funds were distributed, he received $5,123.19. That sucks. It really it sucks. I don't know what to say. I really don't. Because we've been through this. We have been through this literally. But as I always explain to clients, when you decide to get a loan, this is what's going to happen. You're not going to get back as much as you thought. Now, for this, if he settled for $325, I don't know if they went to trial and they settled or they went to mediation. But this is something that he agreed to. You agreed to it. You had to sign the settlement release form agreeing to this amount. If you did not like this amount at the time, I know if you question why I'm not getting $1 million, why am I getting $325,000, you could have easily not signed that and carried on with your day and get another attorney and see if they can fight it. But I bet your bottom dollar that's what happened with the other firm. See, remember, it was referred from one firm to another firm. So if the previous firm did work, sometimes they're nice enough and say we're not going to hold the lien against the settlement funds. But if they did some work, of course they're going to do that. So not only did he owe 4,000 and something dollars to the other firm, if he would have left the Buzbee firm, then I'm pretty sure Buzbee would have put a lien on that settlement amount. And so when they go to the next attorney, then now you got two attorney liens on there. But I say all of this to say, depending on whatever his medicals were, this is what he got. They're going to pay you your meds, they're going to pay you your pain and suffering, and that's about it. Now you agreed to this when you signed the settlement release form from whatever insurance company that paid this. On top of that, you signed a settlement memo. I hope you did. And so why you didn't question the $5,000? Because I'm sure they broke down all the expenses, all of it. And you can't say, oh, the referral, because if a case is referred, that the money for the referral fee comes out of whatever the attorney gets. So if the attorney's fee is, let's say 53,000 that came out for the attorney fees, the referred person would get paid out of that, not out of the client settlement, but out of the attorney fees. But anyway, let me keep reading this. Busby has a pattern of using these predatory practices against their clients. Says Busby represented Guadalupe Garza, who was injured while working on a vessel owned by Callan Marine. Busby sued Callan Marine in Nueces County under federal law Garza was entitled to receive maintenance and cure payments. Okay, I didn't know all that. According to court filings, Callan Marine was instructed to make maintenance and cure payments for Garza to the Buzbee law firm, kind of like a workers' comp. But Garza never received the payments. Okay, well in that case, that's a little bit different. Now, Busby, what you do with that money? Um, Let me see. So in that case, it says Colin Marine subpoenaed records from the Busby law firm to find out where the payments went. Rather than providing records in defense of their actions, the Busby defendants opposed the subpoena. All right, now Busby, I can't rock with you there. Because if they paid them, where does person money at? At a hearing in the Gaza case, Graza, I hope I'm saying that. Callan Marine's counsel stated that other Busby clients have reported not receiving maintenance and cure payments to the Busby law firm. According to records, Busby defendants deposited maintenance and cure payments into an operating account rather than its trust account. Oh yeah, bro, you toast. The Busby law firm apparently repackages maintenance and cure payments intended to provide living expenses for injured workers into loans, which must be repaid with interest. Yep, that's like a workers' comp lien. My boy, I can't help you on this one. I can't defend him at all, y'all. I can't defend him at all. Because normally, if that's you are supposed to pay them. But normally, with some workers' comp, I'm assuming this is more government. But like with regular workers' comp, they do pay the client directly, not the firm. But this is wild. A similar case illustrates a pattern. In Thompson versus Buzby, the Buzby law firm allegedly misappropriated maintenance and cure payments owed to Matthew Ray Thompson Jr., a deckhand injured when his vessel collided with another. Like Guidry, Thompson alleges he was kept in the dark about the Buzby firm, ran up expenses, including high interest loans to the Thompson. You know what? I can't. I honestly can't. I feel bad. I can't defend him on this one. I can't defend him on this one. In another case, Colin Marine moved to designate Buzby, the Buzby law firm, and Chris Livet as responsible third parties for maintenance and the cure that Colin Marine paid, but its clients, Laquel Tyner, never received. So it's a lot of people that never received the payments, and Busby and his firm was uh put in a position to supervise and ensure that these payments go out to these clients. And that's why they was talking about the Jones Act. So that transcript that we read, where it was speaker 1, speaker 2, and speaker 3 from earlier, the earlier live, that's what they was talking about, the Jones Act. So those maintenance and cure payments went to the firm, and the firm was supposed to pay the people, and they didn't. I can't even argue with that. Yep. Mr. Tony's Buzbee's misconduct apparently is not limited to client finances. According to news report less than a month ago, Tony Buzbee flew into a fit of rage and physically assaulted a client that he was representing in a divorce. Oh my gosh. I haven't even heard about that. The client alleges that after Buzbee assaulted her, I'm not laughing at the situation. I'm laughing because I'm up here defending this man, and every time I defend him, something just comes back and slap me in my face. The client alleges that after Buzbee assaulted her in public, his focus became concealing the assault rather than protecting her interests in the divorce action. Oh, I gotta read this article when I get off. Lord, look what happened. Busby saw her, flew into a fit of rage, and allegedly pushed a champagne flute into her face, chipping her tooth. She says she has both medical and dental records to prove her injuries. The woman's lawyer tells TMZ that Tony Busby is a hypocrite. There's nothing worse when a black hat masquerades as a white hat. God damn. Causes of action, breach of fiduciary duties. Yep, he stole them people money. He was supposed to paying them. Unjust enrichment. He failed to inform and keep. Oh, wait, it says they failed to keep Giddy informed during the representation, failed to advise him of his options, and failed to disclose to him the ramifications of settlement versus trial. In other words, they signed him up, and that's the last they heard from him. I'm just going through this because this is negligence. Yeah, they failed to do their due diligence. They failed to inform this man about his case, and they failed to um, disclose any expenses, and that caused him financial harm. That did, and I'm pretty sure the other lawsuit is just like this. So he's asking for an award in excess of $250,000, including disgorgement of unjustly obtained benefits, because those maintenance and cure payments was supposed to go to him. Actual damages, statutory damages, punitive damages, reasonable and necessary attorney and expert fees, court costs, and all other relief that the court deems appropriate. So, all in law, now I can contest about all of the actions that man has done as far as not paying these people their maintenance and cure payments, because you was appointed, they sent you the money, you should have gave the money to them. Now, as far as everything else, I can say that's normal procedure. But if the expenses was, fluctuated, then that's something definitely they got to look into, because he probably made it seem like he did all of this to collect more of the settlement versus the client. Now, one thing that we never do is, if we see that our attorney fees are more than what the client is getting, we offset that. We make sure that the client gets more. And that's any firm that I have worked with, whether it's in Florida, Georgia, or Texas, or Cali. We make sure that the client gets more than what we get. So, Tony, you are wrong for that. You are very, very wrong for that. Lord, please don't tell me. Oh, that's the civil sheet. Oh boy, I thought that was the Lord, I'm about to get happy. I thought that was the attorney-client agreement, because I want to see exactly what he charged them. All right, and I'm pretty sure this is the same thing, just like the other one. Um, this one is plaintiff Matthew. Oh yeah, this is Matthew Ray Thompson. What they was talking about, and he took over 60% of his Jones Act settlement. He didn't give him his maintenance and cure funds to provide the living and medical expenses for him and his family while he was injured. Wait, let me see. Based on information and belief, loaned the funds back to Mr. Thompson at a high. So what he did, Tony Busby took the maintenance and cure payments and offered them as loans to the clients. That's wild. Now I understand that it's going to be you do it like worker comp, and at the end you got to pay all that back. But what? And he also failed to disclose all the fees and expenses. Yep. So this is the same case. I'm not going to, well, it's not the same case, but it's similar to the other cases. So he refused to provide them with their maintenance and cure payments. He fluctuated their expenses and has really nothing to show for it. And he's paying them. How are you going to collect $50,000 and only give this man $5,000? Let me see. Does it say how much he gave this man? Let me see. All right, so he gave him money for travel expenses, blase, blase, blase. Look at this. According to records, Busby and his firm deposited maintenance and cure payments into the firm's business account rather than the trust account. See, the trust account is what you use to hold settlement payments or anything in relations to that. Operating account is what you use for expenses like paying for records or paying to file petitions or paying experts and things of that nature. So whatever a settlement is, that goes in a trust account. That is not to be touched. My. This man is in. Wait, what is this? Oh, this is talking about the lady that got assaulted. Allegedly providing financial incentives to a known witness. So obviously he paid a witness. Oh yeah, that's the one that did the referral fee of like what, 53%. Yeah, all of this is the same. All of this is the same. I'm disappointed. I'm closing out because I'm truly disappointed. I am truly disappointed, y'all. I'm literally heartbroken. Oh, I didn't even show y'all the order to show cause. So another woman in New York is filing a medical malpractice. Yeah. Is it called a medical malpractice? Not a medical malpractice. I think it is. Sometimes I'm losing my mind. It's been a day. Anyways, the sum of it all, I was rooting for you, Mr. Busby, but then I read these two Louisiana cases, and I can't agree with that. I cannot agree with that. If you out here doing shady stuff like that, I can only imagine. However, we still need to ensure that we are keeping an eye on what is happening to Busby and his firm and his former clients, because that does not need to be swept under the rug. I understand what their tactic is. Like, okay, we need to bring the heat on Busby and take the heat off of us. But it's still the fact that they are approaching ex clients, former clients, current clients, and pretending as if they were working for the state of Texas or the state of New York and asking them to be involved in a class action lawsuit and offering to pay them. That is still a problem. That is still a problem. However, if we go on this part, if this lady, and I'm speaking on Jane Doe, if there are inconsistencies in her story, I hope that they make it to at least a phase where they can have experts and work with her. But the way that Busby is moving right now, it does not look good at all. You have these brand new federal lawsuits that have been filed because you jipping people out of their money. That is unethical. That's unethical, my boy. I don't even know what to say about that. On top of that, you haven't even filed the application to even practice in the state of New York. Even after that last filing that was on the 13th, you had an ample amount of time to file the Pro Hoc Vice application, and yet it still hasn't been done. So what are you doing? Are you trying to get Jane Doe's case dismissed? Because that's where it's leaning to. It's really leaning to a dismissal right now. If I want to be honest with y'all, and just because if it is dismissed, that does not mean that her story isn't correct. That is her truth based off of what she can remember. So that's not a win for Jay-Z. It just means that Busby effed up and he didn't do what he was supposed to do. Now I'm thinking you out here how can you be a national trial attorney and you're forgetting to submit applications to practice in the jurisdiction? How are you a national trial attorney and you up here assaulting people in a divorce case? How are you a national attorney and you're sitting here jipping people out of their money. I don't get that. Now, if you have committed other unethical acts, I don't think that the State Bar of Texas is going to be very keen to you right now. That sucks. That really sucks, Busby. I am really freaking disappointed right now because everybody know I was rooting for you hard. Why does Jay-Z have to be trying to bury something? Wouldn't you be tired of folks dragging you as indie your family every day? He's tired and who won't be up? No, and I understand. That's why I said in the beginning, I'ma sit back and observe. I definitely said that. However, the acts, I look at the acts in which people do things. Cause not just, that's part of my day-to-day task, but I watch everything. Just like with Diddy, when Diddy sat there and it came out that Cassie reached out to him prior to filing the lawsuit, as soon as he filed the lawsuit, what happened? He paid her. Then what did people say? People said, oh, payment wasn't an admission of guilt. Later on, here comes a video that's showing him dragging her down the hall. So, in my opinion, do I think he's trying to hide something? Yeah. Does he have a right to protect himself and his family? Yes, he does. Now, in my opinion, like I said, I believe he is burying something. He is keeping something hidden that does not want to come out. You can't go around like, dude, logically, think about this. Do you think that it's okay for somebody to come to your house, flash a badge, and you ask to see that badge, but they can't tell you what, they tell you, no, I'm not going to da 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 da, and then offer you money to be in a class action suit? It has been linked that that private lawyer and that investigator is linked to Team Rock Nation, and Quinn Emanuel. So all of that is shady to me. So do I think he's burying something? Yes, I do. Based off of what I just read earlier. I surely do. Yes, but hey, because you take a picture with someone doesn't mean you are besties. Most entertaining. What, y'all? You know what? Hold up. Where is Getty right here? No, and just because you do take a picture with people don't mean you buddy buddy. But the internet is like undefeated. Because as soon as they said that, guess what happened? They pulled up all types of videos and everything. Like this dude literally said, Diddy stated that Sean is the only person that could call him Sean. Y'all could go to Getty and y'all could do, because I ain't going through 1,000 or something. Like 4th of July party 2020 at the White House that I showed y'all earlier. Look at this. They're always, so you're always for it is 2024. This picture right here is 2020. So you're telling me for 24 years they're just still business associated? They're not friends? Y'all gotta be kidding me. Y'all can't y'all gotta be kidding me. Guess what Russell did? Russell got up out of the States. He got up out of here. Okay, but that's what I'm saying. Nobody demanded any money. I want y'all to understand that. Nobody, that demand letters just do not have to be monetary. They can demand somebody to do something. The demand letter requested for a confidential meeting to discuss the allegations. Why is nobody taking that? See, people say one thing and they say it and they take it out of context, and then next thing you know, we got all this misinformation over the internet. That demand letter, aka what Jay-Z called it, extortion letter, did not request any funds. It requested a confidential meeting to discuss the allegations. Hey, Pamela. Yeah, I decided to go get takeout. So I was like, let me hop on this. But yeah, so I don't care what nobody says. This is more than just a business associate. This is more than a business associate. Now, this has got 19 pages. So if y'all feel free to go through all of this. Look at Aaliyah. I miss her. Look at this. Look at all of this. Look at all these pictures. Jay-Z and Diddy. Jay-Z and Diddy. All the way back in the 2000s. Can't nobody tell me. Y'all are more than associates, bro. Y'all are more than associates. Now, like I said, I'm entitled to my own opinion. I'm looking at logic. I work this case like it was a case that I'm working on for the firm. That's all I can say. Something does not smell right. The actions that are being taken is just weird to me. Um Now I'm not saying that Tony Busby is a saint because I just read those two lawsuits to you guys. Like, he has to hold some accountability as well. But when it comes to this particular case that Sean is named in, I do believe that Tony has messed it up. He didn't file the pro hoc vice. He didn't tell his client not to do an interview. It's just like little things that can cause your case to be dismissed. It's just the little things that can dismiss your whole case. Look at Alex Baldwin. All because evidence was under another case number and it wasn't in the case that the Alec Baldwin case, or I think that particular case that day. They dismissed the whole. It was a mistrial. Really? It could be something as simple as that. So Busby really messed up his case. And I feel bad now because if that case is dismissed, then what? Everybody's going to be looking at her differently. Everybody's probably going to call her a liar and all this other stuff. And that sucks because then I hope she files a lawsuit against Busby. I'm not even going to lie to you. I think they all should pay now what they did to keep it quiet, because no matter what happened, their image will never look good again. No, it won't. And that sucks. That really does suck though. These allegations, whether they're true, because that's why they're called allegations in a civil complaint. You have the discovery phase in order to support either side. So you have to support that these allegations are true, or you got to bring forth documents to show that the allegations are false. But that's why you have the discovery phase. So nobody's going to pay just now, because really, Jay-Z, one, he doesn't even know who the other person is, who the Jane Doe is. So he's definitely not going to dish out any money. But on the second hand, they're not even asking for any money right now. That's the thing. Busby filed this lawsuit to get Jay-Z to respond. And this is how Jay-Z is responding. No, I think Jay-Z did the right thing because this Busby seems to be greedy and is incapable of stopping. Girl, I'm sorry. Hey, at this point, I tell you, I was rooting for. I'm still rooting for him. I'm still rooting for the legal team, but good googly moogie. See, I handle plaintiff work, a lot of plaintiff work. So I was rooting for him, but when I read those last two lawsuits, I'm like, man, your credibility is at an all-time low, my guy. Busby is ruining his own career and good name because of greed. That part, I agree with you. I agree with you. I agree. So pretty much to sum up this live, Jay-Z is asking for an immediate emergency hearing tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. If it does show that it was approved, but I don't know if they put it on the docket yet. So if that is the case, Busby has to appear at 9 a.m. to discuss to the judge why the amended complaint should not be striked and why Mr. Carter should not be dismissed from this case. All right. Now, if he don't show up, that's a bad look on him. But I'm just really curious as to why he didn't do a lot of things. I just reach out. I ought to go send an email. I like, look, Busby, what's going on? What happened? I like, you need a paralegal. I'll be your paralegal. But if I do, I can't talk to y'all about the case. So yeah, Pamela said Jay-Z and Diddy has been in business together on a different project for years since the 90s. I know they have. That's why I said, you can that's a very long time. You can't come up here and say not at near time did Diddy ever say I wasn't friends with Jay-Z. But Jay-Z made it clear that they weren't friends, they was just business associates. That's wild. But yeah, to each his own. But yeah, my child is screaming on this game, so I'm about to get up off of here. But y'all think this case is gonna dismiss? Hey, I'm not gonna be mad if it is. I see what it is. Tony, you messing up the client's case. That's not a good look. Your credibility has been shot to the piss jar, and it's just all over the place. Her and her dad didn't say anything to each other for 5 hours, just like you looked up the house. So, could she? This girl was 13. I wouldn't go 5 hours anywhere without a plan. Just hope. Girl, to be honest, I don't remember crap when I was 13. The only thing I remember is uh, a what you call it? A tragic event that happened to me around that age. That's all I remember. I can't tell you what I did. Now I know I went to a TLC concert back in the days when I used to live in Canada. Now, if you ask me what year, I have no clue. I lived in Canada from 1990 to 1992. I couldn't tell you what month, day, or year I went to that TLC concert, and I was around that age. I think was I? Nope, I lied. Wait, hold up. I was born in 82, so I was about 10. So that even, yeah, never mind. But either than that, I don't remember. So it's kind of hard. It really is. And if she didn't say anything to him for 5 hours, hell, she probably was asleep in the car. Soon as if I'm asleep. She probably was asleep in the car. There's so many scenarios. And like I said, I'm gonna sit back and observe. I'm gonna give my opinion, but hey, we don't know anything until what is given to us during the public. Now, if Tony does get to say in this case, and he does get to file his application for pro hog fights, and he does get admitted, and they go to the discovery phase, we're not going to see anything because you have to keep that the evidence within. It's not something that you can leak out. No, because if they do end up going to trial, they have to be able to use that. So the only thing that we'll see is if it's true or not is if they decide to go to trial and they ended up settling, or if they go to mediation and they work out something and then later on they share the details with the public. But other than that, we're not going to know anything. We're not going to know any of that. That is why they hire experts for everything that you can think of during this time. Now, the only thing I need Busby to do is get it together and stop bamboozling these people out of their settlement funds, because that ain't even cool. I've never seen a firm that will take more. If their attorney fees are more than a client's net amount, then you need to offset that, my guy. You should have offset that. Now, what's coming to you on that one? Hey, I hope they get everything that they deserve from those lawsuits. But anywho's, y'all, thank y'all for tuning in to the Replay Squad. Thank y'all for tuning in. Thank you, mods. Thank you everybody for coming over here and reading this. I think I'm done for today because, child, between work and having to keep y'all updated, I'm tired. I'm tired. So don't forget to comment. Tell me y'all thoughts on this. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Until then, you all be blessed, and I'm out. Bye.